Asher, good to see you, man. Welcome to Pop Alternative.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. Good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you. You know, with a film like Lazareth, I find it interesting because, like, so much happens before you go to, camera on a project, right? You know what I mean? So,
Right.
like, reading the script for this, because watching it, it's like there's, like, the tension never leaves this movie, right? Like, there's always tension. What's that
Yeah.
like, kind of reading this script and seeing that kind of tension that just doesn't go away in this movie?
Yeah. I mean, initially when I got the script for the first time, and I remember having like conversations with Alec about it, and how we want Owen to be perceived. Should we shave his head? Just all these different things that we were thinking about. But I just thought it was a really good script, and I thought there was a lot to work with, and I loved my character as well because it's kind of different from anything that I played before. It's a little bit
Yep.
more of a challenge. So I was excited for the challenge, and I mean, Alec made a hell of a good movie, so I'm just proud to be here and to be a part of it, and I know the fans are excited. So
Yeah,
yeah, they
absolutely.
ain't ready. They're not ready for it.
Well, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, definitely. I'm always walking on eggshells with these interviews, man, because it's like I don't want to say much.
Hey, me too.
Because I see all these interviews, where people really dive into certain things, and I'm just like, oh man, like it would have been cool if I just saw it for.
Right. No, I get what you mean.
um.
Nice.
Well, that being said, I feel like as an actor, you probably try not to do this because you're focusing on the craft and being on set and being present. But like, given what we just said about like it takes some turns and the tension and like the characters and everything. Do you ever think about the audience member watching a movie like this while you're making it? Like conscious of the audience member? Does that happen a little after you wrap?
Um, I mean, for me, all the time.
Yeah.
Like, especially like watching stuff back as well. Like, I'll watch stuff back and I'll be like, I don't remember doing it like that. Like, I guess seeing the finished product is where you can really tell like what it is. But I tend to do that a lot, especially watching my own movies.
Yeah, I know it's
I
that's
hate
also
it.
50-50 down the middle too with a lot of actors I talk about. Some people can either like there's no like sometimes I can watch it's either like I can watch my stuff or I can't watch my stuff. There's no like in between.
Yeah.
It's
And people
hilarious.
they ask me that all the time, and I'm like, I mean, like I'll do it, but like, do I want to? No. You know what I mean? Because I'm a perfectionist. So if I'm watching my work, I'm like, oh, I could have done that a different way. That's just
But it's
how
also
it's
interesting too because it's kind of like as an actor, I think like the best thing about being a storyteller is diving into all these different worlds, right? That's like the coolest thing about it. But it's also knowing what you signed up for, knowing everything. Like you look at like Andy Mack, you look at Shazam, like that's certain audiences, certain mindsets. You know what I mean? Like
right.
And then you look at this. It's
Completely different, right?
completely different. I did want to kind of ask you a little bit about your music too. I feel like, at some point, like it's all storytelling, right? Acting, music, performing.
Right.
But like, was there a situation where like you knew you were gonna do both, or did it kind of just happen with acting and music?
Man, it just kind of happened. Like I started off doing musical theater.
Yep.
That's kind of where I found my love for the arts,
Oh,
and kind of
100%.
just kept going with it, bro. Like I don't know, like acting happened first, but I've always had just this large passion for music and always wanted to pursue it. So like I'm doing both,
Man, so like musical theater really is where you kind of fall in love with performing. I didn't like act, but I was stage crew for all my high school productions. So I was like
Amazing.
the light operator and I was like the follow spot operator. Dude, there is something about the morning like of a performance. So we had like 4 shows in a row like that week. And we spent the whole year preparing for this. It was wild, right? So those 4 days, it's like 1 year. You know all about that, right? With movies,
right? People really don't understand how much work it is. Like it was so much time. Like I remember before I booked my first series regular, like I'd have a show in the morning at like on the opposite side of town, and then that night I would drive to the other side of town and get ready for. I was doing like 2 different shows at the same time, so people really don't understand how much work it is.
I wasn't performing, but the morning of a performance, dude, there's this like energy in the air, eh, man. It's like the best. Like waking up, being like, we're putting on a show tonight. There was nothing better
We're doing
that
this.
feeling.
It's happening. Right. I love it.
It's so crazy. the movie's got the thriller components. It's got, there's a lot kind of happening. There's a bit of the sci-fi in there. It's a genre-bending movie. Like, I think Alec put together a movie that kind of has everything in it. It does have those moments where I do feel like it's like goes to like the horror movie kind of tropes a little bit. You know what I mean? So the horror movie genre, Asher, is massive right now. And I'm just wondering, what do you think about like the time and the landscape of horror movies right now? Like, they've always been around, but there's a huge kind of like resurgence of them.
To be honest with you, I think there's been a huge gap right now in just the horror film genre. Like, I feel like, I don't know, I just feel like there's something missing, and I feel like horror movies just really aren't the same anymore, for me at least. Like, I grew up on horror movies. I love horror movies. Like, that's my childhood, to be honest with you. So,
like, in a good way or bad way?
No, in a good way.
Okay, I was about to say, I'm like, where are they going with this? I'm like, man, like, this is the first time I'm gonna like disagree with someone about horror movies. Okay,
but it's so funny because like, it's like I always want to. It's so cool because like getting to like make the movies that I know I'd watch is like, that's my goal in this industry, to make movies that I love, to make movies that I grew up watching. So I don't know, there's something about this. I feel like Alec Tibaldi he really brought his vision to life and allowed me to bring Owen to life the best of my ability, because he's just so collaborative as a director. Like, that's a dream as an actor.
Did you see it?
That's collaborative.
Did you see his movie, The Daphne Project? Did you watch that? Because we were just talking about like the theater and everything. That was so good.
No, I'm telling you, he is on the up. Alec's gonna be huge. Like, I have so much love for Alec. He's such a genuine human. So, like I said, it's an actor's dream to work with a director that's as collaborative as Alec.
Oh yeah, he's doing amazing things. It's just
for sure.
It's crazy too, because I'm also creative as well. I was just in LA and I wrapped a short horror film that I wrote and produced.
Amazing.
So like. Now I look at movies so much like more like in depth now, right?
Right. You have a broader perspective for sure.
Yeah. But it's just like there's so much happening in that kind of horror movie genre, because it's like the fans also, it's the fans, man, because they're eating it all up. Like, they'll eat up this, they'll eat up like the sci-fi, they're watching it all.
Absolutely. You're 100% right. Yeah.
Oh man, it's crazy. Shazam, I bet, was just kind of always just a lot for you as a storyteller, as an actor, as a person. It was just a lot, right? Like, this is like, comic book culture was at like the biggest it ever was. You're, hopping into the role of Shazam, you know what I mean? You do 2 films. I mean, was it one of those things where you just kind of went for the ride and just tried not to think about it as much as you could, or was that like impossible?
I mean, at the same time, it was literally impossible, but like, I had such a great mentor with Zach being Zach being by my side every day, like, and like those, like, I can't believe like that chapter of my life is, is pretty much closed. It just really goes by really fast, and that's why it's so important to be in the moment and just enjoy it. Yeah. Right. So I felt like I got to do that, and it was the most amazing experience ever.
Absolutely. And your time on Disney Channel as well, I feel like, talking to a lot of other actors that were in your situation, a lot of them saw it as, stepping stones, learning as much as they could about the business. And a lot of people saw it as, no, like, I'm working, like, it's work, you know what I mean? I'm on a show and everything. Right. Which one was it for you specifically with Andy Mack? Was it kind of like a stepping stone, like learning as much as you can? Or was it kind of like, in the moment, I'm working, I'm here? Like, was it both?
I mean, I think it's both. I look at every project that I do in my life, everything's a stepping stone. So I learned so much from that, and that's what helped me prepare for my Shazam audition, and I ended up booking Shazam. So I feel like you learn something new from every project that you do, and even something new about yourself along the process.
I think that one of my favorite things as well, it's so funny how there's certain kind of things, like when people watch movies like Shazam, people take so many different things away from it, inside jokes, different quotes and everything. And I think my favorite thing about Shazam, and I even kind of quote this with my friends sometimes, is when, you're telling your siblings, like, I'm Shazam, like, we gotta transform, let's go in the first one. And it's like, okay, everyone on the same time, and everyone's like, Billy! I always think about that for some reason. It's not like the most like popular quote, right? But I always think about that, man. I don't know why. I love that scene.
I love that scene. It's a great scene. It's hilarious.
I want to know what learning experiences on Lazareth specifically, because like I feel like it's so cool that you started this interview, man, saying like this is a role you've never kind of played before. So I'm just wondering what kind of learning experiences for you on this.
Man, it was kind of crazy because I came in like 2 weeks later. Filming already begun and everything, and I remember Alec was texting me and stuff when I was getting ready to come and start shooting, and he was like, "I can't wait for you to see the world that we've created. Like, you're gonna fit perfectly in this. I just can't wait for you to be here." So, I was just giddy to get this role because I really wanted something edgy. I wanted something grungy. I wanted something that was as far away from Asher as possible.
Yeah, I feel like that's like one of the points of storytelling is like transforming, right? If you think about it,
right.
Which is
100%. It plays the biggest. I mean, that's why all these prior calls that we have, and we're talking about creative. Like he actually like I had like 2-3 calls with Alec, and if I had any questions about the script or something that didn't feel comfortable with me or didn't sit well with me, he was always there.
Yeah.
And as an actor, like I said, it's a dream to have a director like that because not everyone's like that in Hollywood.
And what was it like working with Katie and Sarah specifically? You know, actors that are just also incredible, like so good.
Yeah.
Like, what was it like working with them on this?
Outstanding performances in this film from Ashley, Sarah, and Katie, and Edward. I mean, I've looked up to Ashley for she has amazing work and such profound work. So I mean, getting to work with her was a crazy experience. Like mid scene, I'm like, sometimes I was just taken back because I'm like, oh my god, I'm talking to Ashley Judd right now. That's so cool. So everything, working with Helen Mirren and Ashley Judd and Mark Strong and Zachary Levi and all these different people. It's like you learn, like I said, you learn something new every day.
It's cool if you think about it.
It's so cool. I get giddy about it. It's amazing.
Yeah. No, I'm saying also like it's cool, but it's school. It's like Asher Angel School if you think about it.
Exactly. Asher Angel
School.
I love it. I love that.
It's
This is my
starting tomorrow, May 10th, actually, in select theaters. That's Lazareth, and then on demand. So great chatting with you, Asher. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for your time. You're amazing.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Your Instagram is the best way people keep up to date with everything, right?
That's right. Yeah,
it's just your name,
TikTok.
Asher.
Yeah, Asher Angel. All platforms.
Yeah. Popturnative, youtube.com/popturnative. Previous episodes. Till next time, it's Asher and PD Beats signing off.
Thank you for tuning in to Popturnative. Make sure to check out our past episodes of Popturnative on YouTube.
This has been an Autograph Communications production.